Yes, people, we are live.
O'clock that morning. I was so unbelievably hungover. I was literally throwing up in Stansted Airport. I get off the plane, my Twitter's blown up. City have been charged with 100 different things. My head was like, I wasn't up for this. I just fuck this.
Oh, nice little conversation for everyone to hear that, Hugh.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
we live.
Well, live. I just thought let it run. I was like,
There you go, people. There
Lee
you go.
Gunner, I'll watch you on a Big Six, Hugh. Yeah, friends. You know what I mean?
Cass usually keeps us backstage. You decided to start the show with us all.
I said I was going to run it.
That's cheeky, Cass. That is cheeky, man.
Hey, Cass, I've been more worried about your Wi-Fi, mate, than worrying about us.
I don't worry. On my screen, I'm picture perfect. I'm all right.
You're sat in the toilet, mate. It's probably the furthest part from the Wi-Fi box. Like, it makes sense.
Hey, mate, the only thing that's going to be a toilet is when Man City dunk on you on Wednesday, so it's all right. Okay. Saliba can't even win a header. But big up everyone that's in here. 50 of yous already. Make sure you're smashing the like button. Let's get that to 100 before 10 minutes would be nice. I get it. It's with the game that's on. But, you know, some people can make certain times only. They don't actually live in the country. And I'm not talking about Lee. But, or Hugh, for that matter. But, yeah, hopefully you guys can keep us, you know, entertained if Liverpool... well, apparently they were meant to concede, right, Lee?
Yeah, Matip sliced one, but yeah.
But obviously, this ain't about Liverpool. It's about Arsenal versus Man City. Are some bummos sweating on? Are some not? You know, boy, there's some confident fans out there. There's some not confident. Rivals have got, you know, got different opinions like myself. But I'm going to quickly run through a couple of the comments just to see who's actually here.
I'm intrigued at who you think are the confident ones.
Well, I think we're going to find out in a minute, I suppose. Big up the gal in the building. He says, Big Vid, Lee and Troopz repping. Troopz will be here in about 5-ish minutes or so.
Troopz has left me to survive on my ones, mate. Don't worry about that.
You said you could handle it.
I can handle it, bro. I've handled Arsenal fans for about a 9-10 year period online, mate. I'm sure this will be a walk in the park.
Oh, shit.
I don't know if that's a compliment or to take it offensively. I mean, listen, if you're saying we're different to Arsenal fans, then I'll take that. We're different to Arsenal fans. That is a compliment. So I'll take that.
No, you are.
Big up Solo in the building, one of our members and mods. Thank you very much for being here. Sid as well. Jack in the building. Is Dominic Calvert-Lewin injured again? This guy's made out of paper mache. Oh, I don't know, man. Football Capo in the building. See you. Number Chronicle here. Jaminho, big up.
All my guys are here, man. They're all in the building repping.
Man. Jaminho as well, one of our members. He was actually one of our original mods.
One of our original ones that Lee passed over to us. Cheers,
Callum Housen in the building says, Troopz missing like Arsenal will be on Wednesday. Well, hopefully, Callum, you're not related to a certain Housen that I know. Or you might be. I'm joking.
No, that's Callum.
Oh, is it Callum?
That's Callum. Yeah.
Is he related to Stephen Housen or...
No.
Good. Dennis the Great, Arsenal bowled the league like they did in 07-08. And I see a mad one. The Chronicle says, I'm an Arsenal fan and just predicted 4-1 to City. Yeah, he's definitely come from your channel then, isn't it, Lee?
Right, bro, we're the realest channel out there for Arsenal content, mate. None of this flippity flop and, you know, chat absolute smack when our club's on the longest title run without a trophy in its entire history.
Well, we might as well dive straight into it as well. Daps, obviously appreciate you being there with Hugh as well. Obviously, I know you got a tight schedule today, even though it is never a foul. Daps is a part of it, but Daps had a mad day. He's just come from a certain place. But you more confident on Wednesday this time around, because last week is a different story. This week, it's funny how football works its wonders.
What, am I more confident?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't think... Right, this is the thing. I just saw a minute ago, someone tweeted me, hold tight Gunner King, saying, any of you lot think this is going to be a walk in the park? And I was like, don't put a narrative in there that isn't there. There's no Manchester City fan that thinks going to the Emirates this season is going to be a walk in the park, right? No way. So I wouldn't say I'm more confident that this is an easier game. But the fact is, after yesterday, at last, what have I been asking for constantly? Like, our best 11 to arrive, yeah? And everyone's saying, oh, City played their best 11 against Arsenal in the FA Cup. No, we didn't. We played our more on form 11. That wasn't our best 11, yeah? the other day, Diaz and Laporte being back, that's massive, man. I honestly believe that going forwards, everyone. So your defense will play better if they trust the keeper. Your midfielders will play better because everyone is able to hold their position when they know the person behind them is doing their job correctly. So I honestly feel this season, having Akanji and Ake as our main centre-backs, or having, Laporte and Ake, Laporte and Akanji, and all these different partnerships has meant that we haven't looked as confident. Whereas yesterday, Laporte and Diaz, it was so different. Like the whole team just looked. De Bruyne looked better. Bernardo Silva playing on the left. Look, or was he playing on the left, or was he playing in the middle next to Rodri? I don't know where exactly he was playing. I don't think we'll play the same against Arsenal because they're not Aston Villa away. But the other thing is, look, Arsenal, since they played City, this would be your worst run of the season, right?
Arsenal's worst run at the moment. 1 loss and 2 draws. Even though one was in the FA Cup.
No, 2 losses, 1 draw, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, 2 losses and 1 draw, but 1 was the FA Cup.
But 1 was the FA Cup.
You lost against Everton. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we didn't lose. We haven't lost back-to-back games all season apart from that.
Yeah, and so look, going to the Emirates, we have to look at anything that is a positive, and that is, like I was trying to say to Robbie earlier. Look, I'm not trying to overplay it, but you haven't won since you beat City. And my whole thing was, going into that FA Cup, I was saying Arteta should play his best 11. He's got 7-8 days rest afterwards, right? It's not about this being important to your Premier League as far as points-wise, but it will get you over that hurdle, that mind game that you've beat City, right? Then you can go to Everton with that momentum behind you. I think Arteta missed a trick, right? And I still will say it to this day. I think Arteta missed a trick that day. I think if you beat City in the FA Cup, you would have gone Everton and got a result. You would have gone Brentford and got a result. And then we would have gone into the Emirates thinking, fucking hell, this is a long day. Whereas now we're going into it thinking it's going to be hard, but if we win this game, it blows the whole title race open. So,
what did you make of the Brentford game, though, Lee? Man, Saliba didn't even win ahead of that game. I suppose it might have stemmed back from the Everton game, where I suppose Lewin was a bit better in the air, but then it goes to show that Gabriel is not been getting his props as much as he probably should be, really, if I'm being totally honest. So you quite
he's been our best defender all season. Like, and he started off the season so poor, but Saliba's continued that on, and he's got better. Right, but bro, I was more angry about the Brentford game, albeit we drew, than I was over the Everton game, because they've had a whole week to rectify the problems that we see up at Goodison. And we knew that Ivan Toney and Mbeumo were going to rough up our centre-backs. We knew that they were going to sit and park the bus. You know, we've seen Juventus do it in the little mini second pre-season during the World Cup. We've seen Newcastle do it. We've seen Everton do it. We knew Brentford were going to come and do it. Like, we slapped them 3-0 at their ground at the start of the season. They ain't going to come and play football against us. If they do that, they get taken apart. So we knew what they were going to do, and they were just going to play with their centre forwards so far up the pitch they could just launch the ball up to them, and they're a handful, like a massive handful. I was more angry about that game on Saturday than I was about the Everton game, because you've had a whole week to train on it. You've had a whole week to find another solution, a plan B. This manager ain't got a plan B. This manager, since he's been here, which is 3.5 years, struggles against a team that play with a low block. Literally every single team we play against with a low block, he struggles every time. Now, it's all well and good when teams want to open up and play attacking, flying football against us. We'll take most of them apart, especially this season. But at the same time, you've got to look at some of the individual performers as well. I mean, Saliba, shocking. Yeah, I've never seen a centre forward dominate a game so much. Like, literally against a centre-back. And he's a big lad as well, Saliba. The way he was just bouncing him around was like mad. It was crazy. Yeah, Ben White, he's been shocking since he come back from the World Cup. Yeah, Martinelli, been shocking since the World Cup as well. You know, Martin Odegaard, the amount of people that rave on about this guy, yeah, when he gets pressed and when it's on him, he disappears. Like, where was he in the game? Bukayo Saka was the only one that I would say played all right. Yeah, Thomas Partey looked better with the last 25 minutes to go, but that's because they got deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah, and when it was 0-0, they didn't necessarily park the bus, but they were very quick to get back in and just left their 2 men up front. Yeah, and we have no way of countering that every single time. Even if you go back to the City game in the Cup, Man City weren't free-flowing Man City. Man City were playing defensively as well. They were sitting there playing, right, cool, get down the wing then, we'll just block you. Yeah, give the ball to Saka, we'll just bully him. Yeah, and you know, teams have started to suss us out, mate, and we have got no plan B. We've got nothing on the bench that can affect a game. I mean, as soon as they've made up this cringe song about Eddie Nketiah, the guy ain't scored a goal. Did they not learn after making up a cringe song last season about getting into the Champions League? Which, ironically, they used 2 players from Unai Emery's tenure, yeah, to make out the manager was amazing. Yeah, Tierney and Martinelli. And then we ended up Europa League. You know, every time a bit of pressure gets stuck on Arsenal, we fold every year. And it's been like that for years. For years. Yeah, and the thing is, you know, we needed a striker. We needed a striker in the summer. People say Jesus was that. Well, he ain't a striker to me. Yeah, he's more of a second striker. Yeah, but he's a big miss for us, man. But
I agree with you. I think, yeah, he's the big miss for me. I mean, Huey. Well, in fact, no, Lee. Sorry, let me just go back to you. Do you think not only the way he plays, but do you think his mentality is a big miss as well at the moment?
Maybe, but it's more of the way he plays. Like when he's in the team, he's not playing in the 6-yard box or the 18-yard box. He's on the left, he's on the right, he's in CM. Yeah, he's on the wing. Like then he's up front. And Liverpool just missed a sitter, by the way. Gakpo just headed one wide.
Hey, I'm so glad that name that I made up has made the rounds.
He's rubbish, bro. But anyway, as I was saying, yeah, we do miss him because he can pick the ball up in his own half and jink past 3 players, and all of a sudden there's panic.
Yeah.
You know, the one time we got him behind Brentford, we scored. That was the only time we got him behind them. You know, and against Everton, they should have been 3-0 up before they actually got their goal. Against Brentford, they should have been 3-0 up. People are crying about Lee Mason not drawing the lines on the screen and that. Well, let's not forget that Gabriel slipped over and they went clean through on goal and scored. Yeah, there was nothing wrong with that. Literally nothing wrong with that. Yeah, they had Ivan Toney at the crossbar. Then they had one off the line that smacked Granit Xhaka clean in the face right on half time. 1 foot to the left or right, that's a goal. You know, Ivan Toney nearly chipped the goalkeeper where he was being lackadaisical and just launched the ball out aimlessly to no one. And he just volleyed it and nearly lobbed him. Yeah, like they fully deserved to win the game, Brentford. Everton fully deserved to win the game. We've only got ourselves to blame, mate. And the thing is, now we're sitting there and we're thinking, oh, actually, that bench ain't that great. Maybe our transfer window weren't great. I was calling out the transfer window in the summer. I called it out all January. It's been shocking. Yeah, it's been shocking. Trossard, I've rated him for years. I'm happy with that. Other than that, what did we do? We went and signed a pensioner from Chelsea just to save a few quid. Yeah, and all the accountants were coming out telling me it's good business. Well, it ain't your money, right? And he's sitting on the bench and it's 20 million quid all in with the fee and the wages. But these same accountants were crying about getting João Felix for 15 million for six months with the wages included when he walks into our starting 11. Now, Eddie Nketiah, where's the plan B to that? Now, I've said for weeks and weeks, why don't we, when we're drawing a game, like the Newcastle game, like the Everton game when we were losing, and the Brentford game, throw Gabriel up front. Yeah, we dominate possession, especially at home. You know, that Brentford game, for the last 20 minutes, they were literally on the edge of their box. They didn't want to come out in the last 25 minutes, 20 minutes.
Lee, that, you know what? I mean, Huey, were you at the Brentford game when we played them?
No, wasn't that one.
But you would have been watching it. That was the exact way they played against us. They just sat there and they invite you onto them, right? And then they'll just hit you on the counter. That is exactly like the way they played. And this is why I get what you were saying before about Arteta, that he could have looked at the way Brentford played against City at our place and wrote exactly how they're going to play against you. It is how they played. It's effective. They're getting...
Zinchenko, right? In them types of games, Everton, we knew what Sean Dyche was going to do. We knew what Thomas Frank was going to do. We know what Aston Villa are going to do after on Saturday. Because we got them on the early kickoff on Saturday. Last time Unai Emery played against us, he knocked us out of the Europa League without us scoring a goal. Like, you know, then we got Leicester after that. Yeah, they might have a bit more of a go, but Aston Villa ain't going to have a go. In them games where they sit back, park the bus, low block, whatever you want to call it, Zinchenko can't start, mate. Yeah, as much as he's a top footballer, and he is a top footballer, it's so predictable. You're going to dominate possession. You're going to dominate midfield. They're not going to come out their half. Why are you playing with an inverted fullback? You need Kieran Tierney in the team to overlap Martinelli, to make Martinelli more dangerous and cause a bit of panic by whipping balls in.
What?
Yeah, whether you've got smaller players up front or not, the quality of the ball, you can cause a bit of panic. One slices off the player, it goes in the goal. Then you get a corner, you score off the corner, or it ricochets around a little bit, Saka backstick tapping. Instead, we are so predictable at times with him coming inside.
You know,
Yeah, that works against better teams, but against low block, pointless playing him.
You know what's mad? You say that though. You say about predictability. Then I could say the same thing. Hugh, Pep Guardiola's, you could say his team this season has been quite predictable as well, and that has been known that all you got to do this season is typically sit back, mark Haaland out the game, and you're probably going to get a result out of that. But now we just spoke about Brentford and the deficiencies. Something's just turned for you guys against Aston Villa, and you in that first half you blew them away, like a typical City performance that we know. What people that didn't watch the game? What did you find that was different about this game compared to other ones?
I think there's a few. There's definitely a few contributing factors. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah,
I've had
yeah.
problems with my mic.
Your mic
Alright,
is
yeah.
fine. It's just your camera's a bit jittery, but we can hear you though, which is
Oh,
fine.
his
Yeah, I don't know what's
Wi-Fi is
going
better
on
than
with
yours, mate.
Like, I got the YouTube. On YouTube, I'm in 2K, my guy. I put you in 2K and I put Daps as well. Just some people can't handle it, innit? That's what I'm just saying.
Maybe put me down to whatever below 2K and I'll be all right.
You're not on 2K. You're
I
on
don't
1080p.
know. Listen, I'll do an audio
You're
one.
sweet.
I'll
No, but
do
you're
an
sweet.
audio.
No, honestly, your camera's sweet. On my screen, it's sweet.
Yeah, don't watch how it looks backstage. It all looks weird here, but on YouTube it looks fine.
Yeah, when I'm listening to you guys, your audios are ahead of your cameras. I don't know what's going on.
One that stuff. It don't matter. YouTube is fine. Don't worry.
All right, well, I'll do an audio anyway. What was I going to say? Yeah, I think there was a lot of contributing factors to the performance we had against Villa. I think a massive one, a glaring one, is obviously the week we had just gone by. Obviously, you know, it did become very like City versus the world. You know, everybody had condemned us as guilty from the off, and everybody's attacking us left, right, and center, right hooks, left hooks, uppercuts, the whole lot. And it was kind of a case of sink or swim. Do Manchester City decide to batten down the hatches and say, nah, we're not arsed, you know, everything's going against us. We're not playing great. We're not winning games easily anymore. The Premier League's now against us. We'll just go down to League Two and say, fuck it all off. We're not arsed anymore. It said, no, the first thing we did was, as a fan base, we came together and we started to develop a bit of a siege mentality. The next thing was Pep came out in a massive press conference when he could have come out and said, no comment. The club made a statement. I'll stand by that. He came out, showed character, showed fight, and showed personality. And the last part of the jigsaw was, would the players reciprocate that energy as well? And they absolutely did. I think what happened in the week gone by gave them a massive kick up the arse and a bit of extra motivation that wasn't already there. That's off the pitch contributions. I think on the pitch contributions, Pep Guardiola made some proper selections that we've been calling for a long time. We've been saying for weeks that Ake and Akanji as a centre-half partnership, they're serviceable, they're okay, they'll be defensively all right, but contributing to our overall play, penetrating moving forward, quick moving, snappy football, getting in behind defenses, which is something we haven't done much of recently bar the first half yesterday. Ake and Akanji don't contribute to that. Our overall play stems with two centre halves who are good with the ball at their feet. Diaz, not as good as Laporte, but Diaz compensates with his leadership qualities and the aura he brings to the team. Laporte is a proper ball-playing centre half. He'll step forward. He'll play balls over the top. He'll go route one. He'll play a pass quicker to Bernardo Silva or to Rodri than Ake or Akanji would. So our overall play is sped up. We're able to get at them quicker, and there's not as much pressure on Jack Grealish, who's doubled and tripled up on, or Mahrez, who's doubled and tripled up on. When the overall play is sped up and there's more tempo to it, you'll get a better City. And I think there was far more tempo to our game yesterday.
Do you know what, bro? I actually, because obviously everyone would always say John Stones is City's best ball-playing centre-back here, but I get what you're saying. Laporte plays them fizzing balls that Vincent Kompany used to play, where he can step forward, intercept and fizz one. Almost sometimes he fizzes them so much through the midfield straight to the front three as well.
Was it? Sorry to cut you off. Was it any coincidence that as soon as the going gets rough, De Bruyne's back in the starting 11, Kyle Walker's back in the starting 11, yeah, and it was almost like, right, tried and tested. Let's not tinker with this anymore.
This is a frustrating thing, Lee, and this is probably what frustrated me, and I'd probably say most City fans about the Tottenham game. That when we played you lot in the FA Cup, yeah, Laporte came on, Walker came on, Bernardo Silva came on, and all of a sudden we looked better. right? And I was like, at last, I'm seeing our best 11, coming in. I know their form hasn't been great. Maybe there's a few issues. They came in. And then when we played Tottenham, De Bruyne's dropped. Laporte's not on the pitch. Diaz isn't on the pitch. And it was like, fucking hell, man. Pep, what are you doing? You saw that we need our best 11. And then against Tottenham, you went and just fucking, I don't know what.
He done that to shake him up, because he came out in the post-match a couple of weeks ago and said, yeah, there's a lot of players here. They've won many titles. They're not really bothered anymore. Right. And it was kind of obvious who he was pointing at. It was the ones that were sat on the bench, which are them players.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
so
just,
is that trying to wake them up as if to say, look, we can get back in a title here, but this lot needs to fix up.
Yeah, and it was so obvious the other day that when you see them, and it was strange because before we scored our first goal yesterday, Sky go, Laporte, Diaz, Rodri, all up for this corner, looking like they're going to tower over everyone. And it took me back to how it used to be with like Vinny, Yaya, Lescott, and them lot. And then we went and scored, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just frustrating because I do feel if we would have played them against Tottenham, because this is a thing, there's been this little narrative that's gone around that Tottenham were really good against City. They weren't. City were just really shit, right? And it was like, if we would have put out some of them players against Tottenham, I think we could have got something against them. But it's what it is. We are where we are now.
Don't you think on like looking at the season so far, like everyone's been building it up to this game as the title decider? I don't see it as a title decider.
No.
Not a title decider. Yeah, it's a big game. It is a big game, and whoever wins is, if we win it, then that's a psychological dent to you lot, and vice versa. Yeah, and we're going to have to play really, really well to beat you, because we haven't beaten you for how long? I can't even remember, mate. I think
2015.
In the league, in the league.
Cazorla run riot that day. That's how long ago it was. That's 8 years ago, right? And to get that hoodoo off of us, then that would be massive for us. And not only that, it'll put us 6 points clear. All of a sudden, we now have to lose 2 games, and we've got the Everton game in hand. But if you win, you now go above us, and that's almost like, whatever, mate, we're big man City. And it does look like you've got this siege mentality at the minute. I see on Big Steve's Insta, all the fans outside the ground before kickoff and that, when the bus was coming in. And it's like, everyone's like, wow, like it's us against the whole Premier League right now kind of thing. Yeah, that's dangerous. You got the best manager, you got the best squad, and now you're angry.
That was the thing. It was like, before before it all came out, Pep had kind of done the whole calling out the players, and we were thinking, oh, is this working? And it was almost like Pep was trying to look. We all know Pep is an amazing tacticianist, but it's like, right, this is a new one to Pep. This is not about your tactics. This is about motivating the players. And it is almost like Pep grabbed this. And it's funny, on Talk Sport this morning, when I was driving down to London, Simon Jordan was really trying to go at Pep, saying, City should be getting their lawyers to answer the questions, not sending Pep out to delay things. And do you know what? Respect to Martin Keown. Martin Keown was like, I don't see it.
Get me started on him on Arsenal, mate.
Oh, but he came out and said, what do you expect Pep to do? Like, he's seen an opportunity to create a siege mentality, so he's taken it. And that's exactly what Pep's done. He's thought, I need to motivate this group of players. I need to motivate this fan base. Perfect. Here's the perfect way to motivate. And it has, because we needed, if the board would have come out and put a statement out, would have been like, well, yeah, we'll still back Man City, but we know the board are going to say something like that. Whereas Pep before, with the UEFA thing before, Pep kind of kept quiet. He was like, I'm not going to get involved. Whereas this time, Pep coming out and saying it, it's like, right, if he's saying it, we back it 100%. We'll back you. And then, it's the Pep said before about maybe the fans not making enough noise. But then from a fan's point of view, it's like, we made enough noise in that second half against Tottenham at Argaf. First half, it was quiet. But the minute we saw players running and chasing the ball, and then, right, you give us something, we'll give something, we'll meet you halfway. But when you see players that have been as good as they have been for us over the last few years not run, that's frustrating. It is frustrating because you're like, hold on, we know Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva can recycle a ball very quickly. But when you're seeing in the first half against Tottenham at the Etihad, them inviting the other team onto you and not even trying to tackle them, It's like, that's frustrating. Yesterday, one of the key things we saw was we were winning the ball back in the other team's half. That's how Man City play. And when that isn't happening, it's very frustrating.
Well, all I can say is I think the Wednesday game, for me personally, is going to be a major factor on a psychological element. Reason being, if Man City do win, that's it. I think Arsenal go flat. It's you're bottling it now. It's done. One of the biggest. I would be gobsmacked, like in a way of like.
Too early to say it, bro.
No,
too early to say that.
Not for me because I'm seeing a crumble. But then if Arsenal go and win, I think they got a game in hand. You just beat City. You got to go to their gaff. You're gonna go on a run. Now you need to bounce back, and I think Arteta's lads and all the boys need that bounce back. And I think now is the time to do it against the fans because the fans are going to be up for it. Emirates has not exactly been a library this season, has it? It's been very loud alongside other grounds. So for me, I just feel like it's definitely going to be a massive factor, and I think it does come down to this for the next month or something at least. Anyway,
if City get an early goal inside the first 20 minutes, it could be game over real quick, mate. Because the thing is, against Aston Villa, they did take their foot off the gas in the second half and let them in with a few chances. They gave away a sloppy goal. They hit the bar. Villa, good save from Edison on another one. They're not going to do that against us. If they go 2-3-0 up against us, they will want 4-5-6 because that will absolutely bury us, psychologically. Yeah, and if it's the other way around and we get an early goal, first 20 minutes, all of a sudden the Emirates is rocking, the players are getting their confidence back, and all of a sudden Man City might get a bit jittery, and then we go 2-0 up maybe. Then it's a long way back, innit? We got the best home record and the best away record in the league.
Well, there's some positives to go for because if from the Brentford game, they haven't lost since November. That's hard. They've worked out how to play away games and they do it very effectively. It's going to be
October,
late October or something like that. So that's mad. But there are positives to Arsenal and how they can hurt City, and I think it is down through the likes of Martinelli and Saka. I think it is down the wings that you can exploit them quite a lot.
The biggest problem for us is if you stop Thomas Partey, you kind of nullify our midfield. Yeah, and the amount of times in that game against Brentford, they were on him, mate. Literally on him, and Everton. As soon as he got the ball, bang, 2 players on him. And then that stops Xhaka and Odegaard playing. And that stops the ball going out to Saka. And then when Saka gets the ball, it's literally like one quick long ball over the top. And now he's isolated because we can't get up the pitch quick enough. And, Partey's been off form, mate. Like, honestly, he's been off form the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Man City get on him...
that injury slightly, wasn't it?
Yeah, he came off against...
City.
Came off against you lot. Yeah, since then he's been shocking. Like, honestly, shocking.
I do agree with what Cass said though. Martinelli again when he came because he came on in about 60th minute, was it 65th minute against us?
Something like that, yeah.
And his directness worked, but I mean that's the thing. I don't know who Arsenal. I think they're probably going to. Do you reckon they'll start Trossard against us? I
want him to start. Yeah, I want him to start. I think. Yeah. I think take Martinelli out the limelight for a bit. But the thing is, it depends how Man City play against us because Martinelli, when he's got grass to run into, he's a problem, man. Like we've seen him. I know Trent's not the best defender in the world. Every time we play Liverpool, he has him on toast. Why? Because Liverpool come and have a go. Yeah, and if City, Kyle Walker's quick. Yeah, Martinelli's quick as well. Martinelli's really quick, but Walker is probably the only defender in the league that could probably keep up with Martinelli. Yeah, but. I don't know, man.
Different sides.
The thing is, it depends.
No, it's the same side.
The Emirates. Yeah, it's the same side. It depends how you come to the Emirates. If you come to the Emirates with a mentality of right, okay, let's keep it calm, let's keep it chill. Yeah, stop the ball going out to the wings. Yeah, get on Thomas Partey. Then all of a sudden you're winning that midfield battle. Yeah, and that's where 90% of football matches are won, winning that midfield battle. And then once you start imposing midfield against us, you wipe the floor with us. Yeah, even if you're not playing great. Mahrez is in good form. I know he's skied one yesterday. I see his tweet today saying, "Has it landed yet?" That was funny.
Yeah. Oh, did he tweet that?
Yeah, he tweeted it. It landed yet. But he's flying at the minute. Yeah, you've got Grealish, who's, mate, 17 free kicks, I think he won against Tottenham. 17. Yeah, I think it was 17 free kicks. Mate, I would not be surprised if Ben White or Saliba get sent off. Yeah, because Ben White and Saliba have not been great since Christmas.
Do you know what? I think
he's running at you, he's quick. He's pretty quick, Jack Grealish. It's deceptively quick, but he's very quick with his feet.
The same argument can be said about City as well. They haven't exactly been great either, so you're kind of tit for tat here.
The only thing I can go again with is they've not been great. They haven't, City. The only thing I can go against is what we did against them up at the Etihad. Yeah, Ake marked Saka out the game. Literally, the most quiet I've seen Saka for ages. Yeah, and they were not great, Man City. Didn't really create loads of chances, but they sat back, and when they had their chance, bang, goal. Yeah, and we didn't really offer anything. And people are taking moral victories out of it if we had our best team and all of that. Well, we had our best team against Everton and Brentford and didn't win.
Huey, do you think we start with Ake tomorrow? Do you think we revert back to having Ake as left back?
I was having this conversation earlier on in City Extra, and we kind of found it hard to come to a conclusion because you know what? If he did line up with Bernardo Silva at left back or in that kind of inverted role, I wouldn't be fuming. I genuinely wouldn't be fuming because the way he played, especially with Diaz and Laporte beside him. But like on the other hand, then you've got a situation whereby Ake, like Lee said,
sorry to cut you off. Everton just hit the post.
Come on, Everton. Sorry.
Come on, you toughies, man. No, but on the other hand, you've got a situation whereby Ake has locked down Saka before.
And Liverpool scored straight off the fucking counter. Bastards.
Spin it all off. Spin it all off. Who scored it?
Salah.
Yeah, I knew it. I said it.
Blistering counter attack, man.
Oh, fucking hell. Whatever.
I don't know why we're that bothered. They ain't going to catch up with fucking any fun.
No, we just don't like them. They're always
just like one like
Liverpool to lose. Don't like them.
Even when they're irrelevant, we still want them to lose.
Making out as the greatest Premier League team in history.
Great. You might go from 10th to 9th. Anyways. So there you go. But yeah, what was you saying, Hugh?
I'd be equally happy with either. I'd be equally happy with either, basically, Bernardo or Ake. Like Pep said recently, he has a midfielder in the squad that he knows can do a job at left back, and the majority of us were thinking maybe Calvin Phillips, like Fabian Delph kind of vibes. And then he turns up with Bernardo Silva, and Bernardo Silva does an absolutely excellent job. But the difference is Arsenal are going to pose far more of an attacking threat than Aston Villa did. Do we trust Bernardo Silva with left back duties defensively? I don't know. I do think one-on-one, Ake versus Bernardo Silva, if there's anybody in our squad that can match Saka for energy and just intensity in general, it's probably Bernardo Silva when he's on his A game, but you just don't know about his overall defensive ability. But then if you play at Ake at left back, who do you play at right back? You're kind of then playing a flat back four, unless you're allowing Ake to be the inverted fullback, which isn't really ideal either because it takes away from your overall attack. It's a bit of a hard one. It's a bit of a hard one, really.
Yeah, do you know what? I agree with you on Bernardo Silva. Because if you think about it, to be able to do the role as a left back for Pep, if you think who've done it, Delph, you think Zinchenko, you have to be able to be a left back for any club. You have to have energy to get up and down the pitch. Bernardo Silva's got that. He knows how to play Pep's system. He's been here for 4 or 5 years. So he has got the energy. And here's the thing. Yesterday, I agree with you, right? Defensively, he doesn't look amazing. He doesn't look that good, right? But here's the key. If you're playing Ruben Diaz and Laporte, I'm cool with that. That's the thing. If you're playing, and we saw it in the second half, when you switch and play Diaz through Akanji, and I think when Villa scored yesterday, I thought I'm going to take something positive out of that. When Diaz was on the pitch, we didn't concede. So that is just a reminder to Pep, bro, Akanji's not the guy. He ball watches way too much. Like Diaz would have just gone, the Villa goal. When they were through on goal, I was thinking, it's fine. Diaz is just going to have this. And then I remembered Diaz isn't on the pitch. And Akanji took too long to get across there because he's just ball watching. He's just waiting.
If you play Bernardo Silva at left back, he's getting ruined. Trust me. Saka will ruin him. And the thing is, Ben White doesn't overlap so much. Right. And you'll have Grealish on that side, I'd imagine. I can't imagine him playing Foden. Yeah, Grealish has been his man recently, isn't he? So you'll have Grealish and Bernardo down that left side. Yeah, that side, if that is the case, we'll target that. Saka will have him on strings, mate. Yeah, because Saka's a big physical lad. Well, he's not big, but in size, but he's so tough.
Yeah, he's tough.
The way he bodied that guy at the weekend for the cross. Yeah, big strong lad he is, man. Like he's got a big heart. Yeah, if he's going up against Bernardo, he'll just have him on toast. And Grealish isn't exactly the greatest defensively, is he? So
I'm going to be honest. I think he'll play Ake. I do get what Bernardo offers, and I get why Pep's going with him because Pep wants. I've been saying it all season. Pep has been trying to, with playing Haaland, we've lost someone in midfield because we're not playing the false nine, right? So he's been trying to find that overlap, overload in midfield by inverting the fullbacks. So it does make sense that Bernardo Silva at left back allows him to come into midfield when we have the ball and give us that overload in midfield. The problem is, I think Lee's right. In a game at the Emirates, we're not going to have this isn't Villa at home. Villa at home, we know we're going to have a lot of the ball, so we can have that overload in midfield. Against Arsenal at the Emirates, we know they are going to come at us, right? They're not going to sit back. And let me be clear, if Arsenal sit back and try and nullify City, it won't work. Arsenal need to come out the blocks. Arteta needs to not make this game about stopping City. He needs to make this game about Arsenal doing what Arsenal have been doing well this season. And for that, I think we need.
You can't play Bernardo Silva. You can't play Bernardo Silva.
I wouldn't be the angriest me if he played Bernardo Silva, like Huey said. But for me, I do think Ake needs to start this one.
Nah, if you play Bernardo Silva,
I kind of lean towards playing. I kind of lean slightly more towards. Like I said, I wouldn't be fuming, but I do lean slightly towards Ake at left back and putting Bernardo in the role Gundo was in yesterday. If you can guarantee me a fully enthusiastic and invested Bernardo Silva, tell him to just follow Partey everywhere. Be in Partey's face, be on his back, be everywhere with Thomas Partey. Because like I said about Bernardo's energy, he has the energy to track Partey everywhere and nullify him, as Lee said, as much as possible. If you can do that, you've got a very good chance of winning the midfield battle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Partey's been very clumsy recently. And if you surround him and swarm him, he's even clumsier. Like every player, when they're off balance, is going to look a little bit clumsy if they get impressed. Yeah, and pressure. Listen, Arsenal, this is the first time really all season that we've had any kind of pressure, and we haven't won a game in the last 2 in the league. No, we dropped 5 points. And it's the first time we've really had any pressure. We've been playing before Man City, for the last God knows how many weeks. You've been playing on the Sunday, we've been playing on the Saturday, etc., etc. And we've had opportunities to go a lot further clear. And
that's about to change, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because we're going to be playing on Saturday again, early kickoff. So if you win and you go above us on goal difference, we can go back above. Now
You have to play on a Sunday now because Europa League's back on.
Europa League ain't back for us until March, I think.
March?
Yeah, we've already qualified. We ain't doing this Tim Pot crap that you lot have to do and go and play this qualifying game. We've already qualified.
Lee, you know what's funny? Yeah, I was gonna do this, but now I am. So you're not in the FA Cup. You're not in your great trophy that you always win. You're in the Carabao Cup.
I've seen this win it 9 or 10 times, mate.
You might not even win the Premier League. You might not even win the Europa League, to be fair. I don't know how it might go. I think that you have a real good chance.
Mate, you're preaching to the converted.
So you've just gone from doing an absolute Jurgen quad to absolute. It's like the B-Tech version of the Jurgen quad.
You're preaching to the converted. We've already thrown away 50% of the competitions this season because we've got bigger fish to fry. Since then, I've fried more fish on my cooker.
Let's circle
Since
that
then, I've fried
then.
more fish on my cooker than Arsenal because we haven't won a game since. We've not won a game since that Man City game. Yeah, because we've got bigger fish to fry, bro. Yeah, you can sit there laughing all you like. Yeah, are you in a title race? Do you think you're in a title race?
No, not yet. Mathematically, yes.
Okay, wait, stop 1 second. You don't think you're in a title race, no?
Mathematically, we are.
No, but you don't think you're in a title race.
Shameless me says yes. Logical me says of course not.
So you're in a title race then, because if you were 5 points off of 4th place, you'd be saying you're in the top 4 race, mate. So let's not try and lower the standards of your football club. You're big Man United, yeah?
For the last 10 years, I've personally accepted reality of my club in the last 10 years, innit? But my objective hasn't changed of where I want to be. With you, man, though, you ain't done nothing in 18 years, and this is your best chance. And you got bigger fish to fry, but you're not even confident.
When was the last time Big Man United won a trophy? Because my team won a trophy 2 years ago.
Well, I won a Europa League, mate. I don't FA Cup Europa League.
When was the last time your team won a trophy? It's the longest trophy drought since the 1970s, mate. So you worry about United.
I don't need to worry. I don't need to worry too much. Not as much as you are on Wednesday when I can see your bottle going up when you don't.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried one bit. I'm genuinely not worried because I don't expect Arsenal to do what's required to win the title this season. If they win it, cool. I actually think we will win it somehow. I said after we beat you, I think we'll win it. But nobody clips that. Nobody puts that around because it's me being positive. It won't get them clicks and that, yeah? I said that. It's true. I'm not even taking the piss with it.
Mr. Terry.
Bro, I'm not even taking the piss. I said after we beat Man United, I think we'll win the title. Yeah, but I'll tell you something now, yeah? If they'll show me tomorrow night whether they're up for winning a title. Wednesday night. Yeah. Because if we go out there and embarrass ourselves, then that's it. It's done. Dusted. We won't catch Man City. Yeah, if we go out there and it's a close fought game, we get a draw or something like that, it's going to be squeaky bum time. We played before them, they played before us,
Yeah.
etc., etc. Yeah. If we go out there and beat them, that could be curtains for them. But then we've not got to get ahead of ourselves. We just got to keep going one game at a time, etc., etc. Europa League for us, the fact it's not kicking in until March, that's great because we can just play one game a week.
I know. That's why you should definitely be winning because you ain't got to rotate, right?
But we ain't got any players to rotate anyway. The bench is trash.
What you mean? I've been seeing, Arsenal fans saying, "Oh, you got a great bench now." It's exactly what
You
you
ain't seen
need.
me saying it, bro. I've been saying our bench is trash all season. It's championship level.
Who?
This is where we need Troopz here, because then you could go at Troopz, but the problem is with Lee.
I've been saying all season that bench is trash and he's overachieved to get us to the top of the table. Nobody clips that though. I've been saying it all season, mate. Yeah, he overachieved up until that January window. He had overachieved getting us to the top of the table, 5 points clear. Nobody hears that. Yeah, nobody hears that because all they hear is Lee's Arteta out. Bro, if he finishes anything more than 6 points behind City, then I'd sack him. Yeah, because we were 7 points clear at one point. If he finishes within 6 points of City or wins the league, cool, go again. But you better go again properly next season as well. Yeah, and that'll be on the club more than him.
Well, clearly, your money has your club has shown that they're willing to flaunt money around though. Clearly, like from January when they said the Mudryk stuff, who's the other one, the Caicedo. So clearly, there's money to be spent for next
Bro,
season.
this is what I've been telling people for years. We have got so much money. We've got the third richest owner in the league. It's only Sheikh Mansour and the Saudis that have got more money than Arsenal, mate.
Damn.
Yeah, in terms of ownership. Yeah, in terms of income and all of that, well, whatever. Yeah, Chelsea have probably got more income than us now. Yeah, but we can spend a lot of money. The problem is when you're going and telling the whole world that you've got 100 million quid for the Ukrainian H from Steps. Yeah, like, come on, seriously, mate. Yeah, he's worth 10 million quid. He's trash. Right, and then you're going out there and you're not doing the money on Felix, who would help the team now.
Yeah.
You go and buy Jorginho, who's way past it, not good enough. And is it any coincidence he's rocked up and we ain't won a game? Right. It's mad. And the thing is, for me, if we were really serious about winning the title, which we're not, because our CEO was on Sky Sports on the 12th of January telling the world top four is the aim. Got Martin Keown sitting on TalkSport today saying to Jim White, well, Jim, nobody expects Arsenal to win the league. And, the aim's top four. Yeah. 2 questions for that geezer, because he is an absolute drip. Yeah. That guy has won league titles and trophies for this football club. He is a shambles. 2 questions for him. Yeah. Keown, I know you probably never watched this. Keown, first question. When you played for the great managers that we had, that you were winning league titles in, mate, and winning trophies in, yeah? Was the aim ever to finish in the top 4? Oh, no, it wasn't, was it? So on that basis, why do you peddle that out every week to millions of people and lower the standards? Because millions of people have got more chance, and the players, by the way, have more chance of listening to TalkSport than they ever do my channel. And that is an ex-player that's won multiple trophies at this football club at the highest level, telling people, I don't know, top 4 was the aim anyway. Look at the season last season, when we lost our first 3 games. Everyone, and your fan base have done it this season, by the way, yeah? You lost a couple of games at the start of the season. Oh, well, after the start we had, nobody expects us to finish in... Well, hold on, you still got 35 games, mate. And it's a very easy excuse, right? And the reason fans do that, and the reason players like Keown and Parler and Wrighty and all that do it, is because it takes away all accountability to the football club. Yeah, if we don't win the league, for example, I still think we've got a great chance to win it. If we don't win it, and we end up winning nothing, yeah, then the narrative would be, well, we're just back in the Champions League. I was walking down Hornsey Road protesting against Wenger for finishing second for doing that. Yeah, trying to get him out. Yeah, and he's a massive problem as well. Yeah, great for 10 years, crap for 10 years, and that crap 10 years has ruined this fan base beyond repair. Because
do you know what? Just to talk about the fan base, because
bro.
I do think, I think you're spot on, and we spoke about this earlier on a different channel about how like Wednesday is big. It's very big in the title race, but like Everton is a prime example, right? Everton away, when you faced Everton, a team that's fighting relegation, those teams are going to have a say in this. Like everyone in the Premier League is going to have a say in this. Like, will City win every single game apart from Arsenal? No, we've still got to go to Brighton away as an example. We've still got to play Liverpool at home, which is usually a tough game for us.
Got to play us twice.
And what I'm interested to see is if, and this is a big if City do beat Arsenal on Wednesday, what happens with Arsenal's fan base, right? Because that would
I'll tell you exactly what will happen. I don't matter. We've got a game in hand. That's all it'll
I
be.
hear
bro.
you because I've been hearing, yeah.
That's all
Do you know
it'll be.
what? I definitely hear you on that because after every single game, right, when you do a stream with an Arsenal content creator, not you, Lee, to be fair, they're constantly got the positive vibe. No, it's fine
That's
because
because they can absorb all accountability, mate. That's why they do it. Yeah, because if nobody can be held accountable, it don't matter, does it? Yeah, and at the start of the season, 4 of our first team players, Odegaard, who's our captain, Xhaka vice captain, Ramsdale, and Smith Rowe, all came out and said top 4 in Europa League's the aim. They all said it in pre-season, separate interviews. That then went all the way through our fan base. So all of our fans at the start of the season were saying top 4 in Europa League. Then we lose to Brighton in the cup. It don't matter. It's the shit cup. Then we lose to Man City in the FA Cup. It don't matter. We've got bigger fish to fry. But if we don't win the Europa League and we don't win the league, this lot will have a field party and a street party with party poppers and bunting and all of that. Goosebumps, Champions League night at the Emirates. Well, hang on. At the start of the season, your own words were win the Europa League and get top 4 or he's got to go. They don't hold people accountable, bro. And this is why I always battle with Arsenal fans, because we smashed the stadium down, which I keep harping on about, to go and be like Real Madrid. We were told that by our chairman, who's dead now, in 2004. Real Madrid were the best in the world. 19 years later, they're still the best in the world. What have we done in that time, apart from load of standards? Everyone's been jumping on the gravy train. Everyone's been sitting there like Keown getting his gig at TalkSport and BT Sport, right? He's twerking for every single new kit that's coming out. Yeah. Ray Parlour has now, and Jeremy Adier have now got their own clothing brand with Arsenal. Like, it's just a shit show, bro. Yeah, you've got Frimpong, who's some Twitter guy who's now got a job at Arsenal doing Colney carpool with Granit Xhaka. You've got KSI dropping a video 4 hours ago doing penalty shootouts with 3 of our players. YouTubers versus, what is going on here, bro? Like, at the end of the day, this is the longest title drought in our history. And we're doing all of these things that have got nothing to do with
Long
it.
may it continue.
And this is why I get the ump with it, because
do you know what? It's interesting
what
hearing
we smashed the stadium down for, bro. And when our CEO then comes out and says top 4, that means that if we only get top 4, don't we? We got David Ornstein sitting there when we finished 5th last season saying, oh, well, it was seen within the hierarchy at Arsenal that if they'd got top 4, they would have been ahead of schedule. Excuse me? I've waited 19 years, mate. Ahead of schedule. What are you talking about? This is Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, and I think a lot of people need to wake up to that. Like, this is a big football club that earns big money. Charges, they put their season tickets up 4% on the season we're on now from last season. Next season, they're putting them up another 5%. For what?
Boy, man, before we get all into the Arsenal, guys, as well.
Let's go toilet quickly. I'll be
go
back.
on.
Yeah.
Troopz
Yeah,
can't.
please.
I think Troopz can't make it. I think the American
Probably
traffic.
stoned.
Nah, the American traffic is a bit nuts. He says he apologizes. He can't make it. There'll be a next one. Obviously, it's not the only game Arsenal got to face. I'm pretty sure they got Liverpool coming up soon. So yeah, man. So he apologizes for not making it. Lee's obviously held it down. Make sure you smash a like. Make sure you subscribe. I think we're like 3 subscribers off of 7K, by the way. So it'd be nice if you guys are here watching right now.
Yeah,
Go do
give
that.
us 3 subs from anywhere. Pull them out.
Yeah, and
pull
also
them out of it. No, actually, no. Don't use a burner account because
no. We don't want no burners. We don't want no burners. But the likes I appreciate. Go check out Hugh's channel in the description below and in the title, as alongside
100%.
Lee's as well. The 1894. If you enjoy as Hugh, Big 6 tonight as well. Obviously, that's some Big 6 extra. The Big 6 boys.
Also covered for me again on Matisse's channel earlier. So thank you, Huey. Huey, what did you make of Grealish's performance yesterday?
It's good, man. I think Grealish does a lot of unrewarding work, and he's possibly been a victim of what I was talking about earlier on. Slow build-up play and all that pressure to create chances does fall on your designated chief creators, your De Bruyne's, your Grealish's, your Mahrez's, and when the overall build-up play is too slow, it's going to hinder the likes of Jack Grealish. If you allow a defensive shape to form in front of you and they can put 2 and 3 man on Jack Grealish, he's not going to look as pretty on the eyes, but I thought he was good. He made one big chance. He put a ball across the 6-yard box. He's using his left foot. He's going to the byline. I'm always very happy with Jack Grealish. Yeah. I've seen the progression with Jack Grealish, and I've had so many people tell me since the moment he joined, he doesn't get enough stats, not enough goals, not enough assists. And I've said the whole thing from the very start. He wasn't brought in to come and be Jack Grealish of Aston Villa. He was brought in because Pep Guardiola saw qualities in Aston Villa's Jack Grealish that he liked and wanted to implement into his own squad. He did have to modify his game. He had to change the way he did things. He wasn't going to be a one-man team, but he's starting to quite clearly get a feel for what he's doing. He said at the end of last season, Jack Grealish, that you know, for the whole first season at City, he was terrified. And it takes a lot of confidence and a lot of, you know, fair play to him for saying so, because most players wouldn't admit that, but he was terrified of making mistakes and giving the ball away and upsetting Pep, basically. It's almost like he was intimidated by the manager he had. And then he said, I need to do more next season. He must have had a conversation with Pep or a conversation with himself, and he's taken the shackles off. He's being more aggressive, and that's why he's holding down that position on the left wing, because
Well,
he
let's
absolutely
not get
deserves
too hasty there, Hugh. I wouldn't say taking the shackles off just yet, because I've been
He
a
has, man. You
massive,
can see
I've
the
been
way
a
he
massive
plays,
supporter of
Kat. You can
Grealish,
see
and
the
you
way
know,
he plays, man.
you know that that's as well, innit?
If you compare his performances this season to what they were last season,
No.
even though I backed him, I did it out of blind love. He'd get the ball, he'd turn back, he'd pass it back. He'd get the ball, he'd turn back, he'd pass it back. Now he's taking on players. He's crossing in with his left foot, something he was allergic to for the entirety of his career, even with Aston Villa. Pep's clearly got into him, or else he's got into himself. It's a massive improvement. And
he's a class footballer, man.
Yeah, he's class. He's a class football player.
The thing is, but Cash, you probably expect him to go jinking past 3 players and stuff on top.
I don't.
He's not in the team to do that. He's in the team to do what Anthony's doing. Keep the ball. Keep it going. Drag it up the pitch.
Spin around.
Well, apart from that.
But by the way, big up for the 7K as well. I think, Lee, you was actually here when we hit 2K. Do you remember? You might not remember that.
Come on, I've been riding for this channel since day one, man. Big up little Chris, man. Big up little Chris. He's a real one, man.
And big up Wayne for becoming a member as well. I didn't get to say that, so big up for all of that. We're only going for about 2 minutes less, because I don't want to catch the second half as well.
The thing is with Grealish, yeah, people have this expectation that he's going to go and splat loads of goals. Bro, when was the last time he scored double digits in the league?
Never.
Like,
This is
exactly.
the thing. It was never. The one thing I saw yesterday that I thought was so, how he was holding the width constantly. Yeah, he was allowing the play to be switched, because he was just holding the wing constantly and allowing the play. But the other thing I've seen with him is, and I think Huey, I know we were both pretty waved after the Spurs game, but I think when we were sat in Costa, I think it was, we ended up in, wasn't it? Was it Costa?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Costa with a couple of magnums while Steve was having his coffee, right?
Wild night.
But I think the one thing that we'd say from that game is he's showing that he's actually got leadership qualities as well. He looked like a player that fucking cared. And there's been a lot of players at City this season that haven't looked like they cared, whereas some of the tackles he's putting in as well, and all of a sudden, and you forget the guy was a captain for Villa for years. From a young age. So
his job at City is just to get you up the pitch, keep the ball. Like if you're on a counter attack, he's to drag you up the pitch. But people expected him to put in performances like he was doing at Aston Villa. That's not his job. Like if you're on a counter attack, he'll cut it, and you're defending, he'll come back, he'll tuck in and he'll help out, yeah. Then he'll drag you up the pitch.
Then the question is
deceptively quick as well.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
I said that.
Yeah, he is deceptive. He's a bit like Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe's deceptively quick.
What was it?
The further they run, the quicker they get.
All right.
Hold on. What game was it?
He's in the team to keep the ball. That's it.
What game was it, Huey? In the second half, wasn't who was it? Who would it be? Was it? Could it have been? There was I think it was Chelsea. Was it Chelsea where
when he came on left foot, and then Juarez scored?
Yeah, all of a sudden out of nowhere, he put the burners on, and it was like
no, that wasn't the game.
But it was because he got space to run into. And all of a sudden, it was like, Grealish remembered, fuck, when I have space to run into...
People just look at his GA and they start, 100 million and all that. Yeah, I'm sure Jack Grealish don't care when he's getting in bed every night and remembering he's won a title. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's only people online that want to cry about it. Like people judge people off the GA.
No. Let's be real.
Why can't everybody else listen to what Lee says about Jack Grealish and taking exactly what he's saying?
Jack Grealish is a top footballer.
Cool.
Real talk.
I have to flip it. I have to play devil's advocate. That's nice.
Why do you?
No, because I have to flip the question. And by the way, I'm an advocate of Jack Grealish. Yeah. By the way, so don't.
Who's the better player, Jack Grealish or Anthony?
Same way, but the same way. Even if you want to deflect to me, Anthony. Grealish is better than Anthony for me. Anthony is not worth 80 million. But
who's better, Grealish or Sancho?
Overall, I think Sancho is the better football player, but currently Grealish is better.
On what? On what basis?
I just think he's just a better football player. That's it. But at the moment, he's just not better. Like, as in, he's not better than Grealish right now.
Do you think if Sancho was at Man City, he'd be playing better than Grealish?
I think Grealish, if he was at Man United, would be playing better football for what we need compared to what Sancho could be doing.
Do you think Sancho would be doing better than Grealish at Man City if he was at Man City?
100% he would. He'd be way more suited to check because look, Pep has got his system in it. He's got his system players, and he does take away whatever it might be if you want to become successful through that system that he desires. And fair enough, innit? It works for him. Where Sancho,
Grealish has been
where
Man
I
City's
think
best player.
Sancho, where he's been in the Bundesliga team are built on system and only system, and that's why it doesn't always work. I think what Man United could have done with is someone that gets you up the pitch and can hold the ball up, for something that we've been lacked for such a long time.
That Bundesliga's trash, mate.
Yeah,
Honestly, that is the worst fucking league. It ain't even the top 5 league. The Portuguese league's better than that.
Well, for me, price tags come with everything, and I get it. 100 million to hold the ball up and do what he does going up the pitch.
Yeah, but if that makes you win the league 3 years in a row,
I get it.
It's
not worth it. It's not worth it. But it's not worth it. But English tax and everything, it doesn't matter if he's winning your leagues. You're right.
Listen, let's be real here, Cass. Yeah, how many players are worth the fee that they get?
No, it's true. No, but it's true. But
how many players are worth the wages they're nicking every week?
Most £100 million players are not actually worth 100 millions. And
why do you think players like Roy Keane, and all these players that are sitting in studios, are like they've still got the same mentality, right? And I'm not saying Roy Keane's skint or anything, but there's a lot of ex-footballers that do the circuit and do the rounds and all of that. They must be sitting there. Roy Keane must be sitting there thinking, how the hell is that player worth 100 million quid? How's he on 400 grand a week? They weren't getting this big money. Man United were the biggest players back then. To get the big money, you had to do 4 or 5 years of top service. Yeah, you had to be in there. Roy Keane's probably best wage packet every week was probably 85, 90, maybe 100. But that was right at the back end of his career. Yeah. He was probably on about 20 grand a week, mate, when he signed for United.
Yeah, well, if 5 years. Look, but the thing is, times have changed. You have to get used to change.
Times have changed. But what I'm saying is, it all comes into perspective and it's all relative. Jack Grealish,
you know what is
£100 million footballer. Jack Grealish is probably worth, for me, about 40 million quid. But I'll tell you one thing, Jack Grealish could have played in the 90s. Not many footballers in the Premier League could do that.
Well, he's never. I hear it, but it's for
the 90s, mate.
He needs for what it is worth. Of course, he should be doing better than what his current output is, but he's not.
Hold on, that's Cass. Hold on, I've got to be 100.
Am I fighting Man City's corner here, by the way?
Cass, what you just basically said there was that you're a GA merchant. You want to see more GA.
I'm a guy that watches stuff, but I'm saying, but price tags come.
So
with
if you're
everything.
watching Grealish, is he doing what the manager's asking him to do?
Probably could be doing more, if anything.
What more? What more goals? More assists?
Yeah, he could be doing more, just more in general.
More GA?
It's not his fault. It's not his fault. But with 100 million, it does come with the goals and the assists on top of performances. By the way,
so you think he needs more GA?
On top of performances. If you're telling me here confidently that he's worth 100 million. When did he go? 2-3 years ago? No chance. But
we've all agreed that he ain't worth 100 million.
I'm not trying to belittle Man City and what they've spent though. That's what I'm trying to get across. That's it.
If Pep Guardiola is happy with Jack Grealish and Manchester City are winning leagues, I'm a happy guy. Yeah. Pay 200 million for him. I don't care. It's worth every single penny. That's the whole thing. It's an overall team thing. It's not your bar.
And now I'm so glad that you said that because I'll hold on
just
to that.
last thing. The one thing I'll say is GA, right? Leroy Sané got GA, right? Pep Guardiola, which is, I think we would all agree, the main reason why Man City have been so dominant, used to drop Leroy Sané very regularly, right? He is not dropping Jack Grealish regularly. Because
the best example of GA, is Ronaldo last season at Man United.
Or Bruno.
Yeah, did absolutely fuck all last season. Stat padded against shit teams like Norwich, which is what your scarf in the background in your toilet's saying. Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Shit.
Yeah. Right.
You wish you had this,
mate. Padded against absolute dross, suing all round Old Trafford against crap teams, and literally ruined your whole team's flow. You get rid of him, and all of a sudden you're fighting on 4 fronts.
It doesn't take a fucking genius to work that one out, though, does it?
Oh, I know, but that's what I'm saying. GA is not the be-all and end-all for an attacker.
No, I'm not a GA person. I'm always by.
No, I know, but you just got twisted up, yeah.
I'm not. No, I haven't got twisted up because I could just say that I could flip the same thing. I can flip the same thing. So when you talk about your wingers not getting enough GA, like your own wingers, then leave such as Saka and so forth, or he's dropped off, then it's a different conversation. Huh?
When did I say I haven't cried about Martinelli not scoring goals? I've just said he's been playing shit. No, I don't care about goals and assists. If you're playing well, this is where GA is ruined, and these stats XG, XT, and all of that crap. Yeah, people look at SofaScore and go, "Oh, he got an assist. Yeah, what did he do for the other night?"
I mean, on Bruno Fernandes, I've been a massive critic of him, and I've been targeted due to flipping me saying I don't care if he's got all these goals and assists. His performances for the team are shit.
Exactly.
two seasons.
Martin Odegaard, right,
it's
is a
not worth
player
200
that's playing in a number 10 position for Arsenal. And I called him Gibraltar guard. Everyone started crying, right? And then all of a sudden I said, because you're playing in a number 10 position, I want to see more goals. How many number 10s over the years have got away with not scoring any goals? It don't work like that. If you're a winger, it's slightly different, depending on what team you play for. Yeah, Bukayo Saka, I said last season or the start of this season, he needs to level up this season. If he wants to go on and be world class, which I think he can be, yeah, he needs to level up with his final ball in the box because he used to be just flashing them everywhere. Yeah, and he needs to score more goals and start shooting more in the penalty box. This season, he's been brilliant. He must watch my streams because he's done everything I wanted him to do this season. Yeah, Martinelli, not once have I called him out for not scoring in his last 6 games or whatever. I've just said he's been playing crap.
Well, but for an inverted forward, he should be scoring more. The way you play,
he shouldn't.
He should be, Martin. He should be getting way more.
2-0, Liverpool 2-0.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm not watching it then.
Gakpo's just scored.
Oh my god, he finally made his debut after 8-9
That's
games.
another one. That padding in Holland comes to the Premier League. Darwin Núñez is another one. Yeah, I think there's a fan on the pitch. Darwin Núñez is another one. 30-odd goals in 30-odd games in Portugal. Comes to the Premier League, and all of a sudden, Liverpool fans saying it don't matter because he's getting in the right positions. Well, you can't have your cake and eat it. You signed the player and gassed the player up because he was scoring loads of goals and assists. Nobody's ever done that with Jack Grealish because he weren't ever getting loads of goals and assists.
I suppose so, yeah.
So why do you suddenly think he can go to Man City and he has to score loads of goals? It makes no sense,
Doesn't
bro.
have to. He could just be doing more. He is quite. When it does come in front of goal, he is.
Bro,
quite
how many more free kicks do you want him to win in a game?
He is quite wasteful when it does come to in front of goal.
And look, that's the one thing. That is the one thing I would agree. That the one thing I do think, like, I think he's as frustrated as everyone else, right? With that though, yeah. That, like, the other day he had a few shots, and I think there's 1 or 2 good saves. But here's the thing. I think that will come. And when that does come, Jack Grealish all of a sudden becomes worth more than 100 million because that we never bought him for that. If that gets added to his game, that just makes him even better. It's not something that will ever be required because he's been brought in to do what our manager, the person that has brought us 4 Premier Leagues, wants him to do. He's not being dropped, which tells you he's doing what the manager paid the 100 million for. Simple as that.
At the moment, there's not really anyone else to go over there either, though, is there?
Foden.
Yeah, but he's fallen out. I don't know where is he?
He came on yesterday.
Yeah, I ain't seen much of him, man.
I think he's also had, reportedly, I've heard he's had family issues as well, to be fair.
Yeah, but the thing is, Pep's always done this. Pep's always rotated his teams. Pep's always taken players out the team, freshen. They're fighting in every competition. Well, they're not in the League Cup this year, which is surprising because they normally win it, but they're in the Champions League. Yeah, and they're fighting for a title again. They're still in the FA Cup.
Yeah. Huey, was it on your channel last night that someone mentioned the Champions League being the perfect place to just re-unleash Foden back in?
Yeah, we were having that conversation.
Yeah. And it does make sense because Foden's always been pretty good in the Champions League. And he hasn't been... there's been a few things. He has had reoccurring injury issues. There's been the fact that he's been... I think there's been some family issues. And then also, he was involved in the whole Cancelo situation. And I think he did get a bit of a disciplinary over it. So there's those 3 things. But I've seen there's been pictures today released of him and Pep in training, having chats and whatever. And I think Foden could be quite important in this back end of the season for us. Because it is like we've forgot about Foden almost. Like that. We have to remember there's a reason why people speak about Foden the way they speak about it. There's a reason why even... Like today on AFTV, they were doing a Saka versus Foden. Which one's better? Well, Saka's seen as, one of the best, reportedly at the moment, one of the best wingers in world football. And Foden's being compared to him. So we have to remember Foden could be very, very important to us. I don't know if the Arsenal game's it, but yeah.
I think it's a good way to come back. But anyways, just to wrap it up, obviously Daps don't like doing these, but I might get one. Predictions for Wednesday.
I had to earlier, so...
damn. All right, I'm going to start with you then.
2-1 City.
Well, you're backing the lads. What about you, Lee? Obviously, I would ask you counter about Troopz. What do you think? Oh, okay, never mind. Lee, what do you think?
Again. Bro, I don't really want to predict a loss, but I'm saying 3-1 to City. Yeah, I just think the way I've seen in the last couple of games, We ain't really been a threat in front of goal in any of the games, including the Man City game before the 2 league games. We're not really creating any clear-cut chances, not getting in behind teams. Yeah, City have come forward a bit more than the others, but City didn't really come forward in the cup game. I'm saying 3-1 City, bro. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that we go 6 points clear. Yeah, but I can't see it.
Before I jump to you, I'm just gonna snap I'm gonna say 2-2. I think it's gonna be close. Hugh?
Say 2-0 City and a Jack Grealish goal.
That Grealish brace just to shut him up.
I won't. I won't mind.
And when he scores, I demand to come back on this channel next week, Cass, and have a chat with you about it.
Just because he scored a goal.
You're always welcome, Hugh.
I
You're
never
always
said he was bad or a bad player or anything like that. I just said I don't think for me he's worth 100
You
million.
said Anthony's better than him.
I'd never said that, by the way.
No, he didn't. He said Sancho
I know.
was bad, to be fair.
Yeah. But yeah, appreciate everyone that's in there. Make sure you smash the like. Go check out Lee, Gunners, and Hugh's channel down below. Check out Troopz' one as well. You might see me and Hugh Sam having an argument.
Nah, don't promote his channel. He didn't turn up, man.
Nah, it's all right, man. He'll be back.
Check out my second channel, Lee Reacts, at Lee Reacts. Check
Lee
that
Is
out.
that a new one, Lee?
Yeah, I never knew that.
Nearly on 8K, man.
For real.
Yeah. What's your main one on though?
76 something, 76.3, something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Second one. First one's doing well enough.
Yeah, the second one, it got demonetized because it was inactive for a year, so they demonetized it.
Oh,
So I had to
damn.
get it monetized by doing watch-alongs for other games just to get it monetized, and now I'm doing reaction videos, so like to anything. So yeah, go and check that out, people. Tomorrow, also, I just want to quickly shout this out. Tomorrow I'm on with Lewis from City Extra as well, 1 o'clock UK time.
1 p.m. Hugh, you got anything coming up? Other than Big
All
Six?
the usual stuff, man. All the usual stuff. You'll catch me on all the channels. I'm usually on Big Six and that. I'm trying to get my channel right now to 6K as soon as possible. So any help on the way to that would be massive. Thanks.
Nice one. You heard anything you
That
want to say?
link in the description, yeah. Cass?
Yeah. Of course.
Link full.
And we'll be back tomorrow at some point, Tuesday for Rivals at 6. You know, choose our channel over Saeed's in a bit.